Which ones are we talking about today? This is how we start all of them. I know which one we're on about, and then I ask you which one
Yeah.
we're talking about.
So today on this podcast today, we are going to be talking about the tracks today that are the tracks on the album of Mission Start and Space Between.
Yep.
There's only two, isn't there? Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Space Between and Mission Start. Both of those names have been knocking about for ages. Space Between was what the original melody of Dave was called. There was a version of that on SoundCloud ages ago that I had. That's deleted. I deleted all that. Which also had a version of Mind Over Man, which will come later. And then Mission Start was the name of a track we had on that.
Yeah, that was
very,
the name
very
of that. That was back in the early days of our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
I remember that. I still have those. They sound terrible.
Yeah, we should do it.
There's good riffs in them. But
yeah, they sound awful. We should do an episode there listening to those. It would be funny.
I think that would be nice actually, because it's been such a long time. It would be quite interesting to revisit that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, these tracks as well was kind of the glue to make the album what it was and kind of give it a bit more of a progression, because we had all the songs, but without these they're just a bunch of songs together.
Yeah,
I think anyway. And it's kind of building upon that piano that's at the end of Consume All, which also kind of alludes to Inhibitor. Mission Start has that piano and kind of the strings. And then I remember I was doing one of my essays for my master's, and I was in a cafe. I was like, it'd be really cool to just get some weird noises. So I just started recording the ambient noise of the cafe, and then I chucked a load of distortion.
It's doing the level 1 university sound design course. So that's exactly what I had to do in my first year in one of my modules for sound design.
Yeah, just record a random.
Record a load of random sounds, load of random places, and make them mean something.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
I think it does add something to it. I kind of like that randomness to it. And if you took away the distortion and all the delay, there's definitely Maroon 5 somewhere in the background. Sure, that was what was on the radio.
Probably best that I did put that on there.
But that it kind of adds like an eeriness, but also that track's kind of got that optimism to it as well, that Mission Start. And then Space Between is literally just meant to be the space between the tracks. And it's kind of that reflection in the piano with that kind of intense, weird noise coming through, which was... That was just a Logic plugin that I then chucked a load of distortion on it and delay and made it weird. I like doing stuff like that though. We should definitely try to do more.
It's the best. It's the best way. It's the best way of doing it. We need to bring back more of the older synths, classic DBD.
I think kind of those noises that you can't recreate. You know, that's like in Mission Start. Like I think there's a really great value to that in tracks. It's like it's one capture and you just got to deal with that, and there's like you'll never be able to make that sound again. I think that's cool.
Yeah,
and I was really into the piano, that plinky piano that I think it's on the Labs Spitfire Audio.
Yes,
the Labs plugin piano on that. It just works really well with this kind of the sound of this album. I like that more reserved sound that we were kind of going for. Yeah, I think these ones really glue the whole album together and make it a cohesive album. Yeah,
it also allows for a breakup in if you were to listen to the whole album. It gives you a good break between the first half of the story and the second half, sort of like a nice chapter 1, chapter 2 sort of split.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I see it. That's like the beginning, like the interlude, and then there's the second half of the album. I'm always thinking that kind of whenever we're doing albums, I'm thinking of like the pacing of it and whether it's like, okay, we need kind of if this song's going to go here, we need a heavier one after it or something, like just to make everything kind of have the impact it has on its own within the context of the album. So next episode, I guess we're going to talk about the big album.
The phase 3 of the band. Phase 4.
But yeah, we'll talk about Fear of Being Forgotten next. We're catching up with what we've been releasing.